All right. So we're starting our session today. We're going to have a blast. I'm going to be sitting here for a couple of hours and got a few tracks we're going to set up with already, and then we go into Lucky Dip. So the very first track I have here to listen to was sent to me from Patreon member, and it's called Cumberland Gap. I don't know if that's I guess this is from a show or a movie. I don't know. I'm not sure because the way it's segmented here. Performed by David Rawlings. Okay, that's why I just moved that there. I wanted to check to see. Let me see what else it says down here. Nope, that's all it is. Okay, well, let me go back down there. So let's listen to this track. No doubt it's probably going to get blocked and copywritten claim if it's coming from a big major show, but let's listen to this. This is Cumberland Gap. Let's do this. All right.
Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Kiss me, mama, kiss your boy. Bless me well and lucky, or I won't be back till I return. I'm gone to old Kentucky. Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. That's what the scouts all tell you. Sure enough, to make it tough. If it doesn't kill ya. Kentucky, she's waiting on the other side. Give you the fever, put the daylight in your eyes. Brother John's already gone with the full-blood Cherokee maiden. He made the trip in a blizzard's grip. I'd rather wrestle Satan.
One of the things that, this definitely has tones and writing and performance and engineering, most importantly in my mind, pulling from way back days of real organic, powerful songwriting, where the emphasis was on melody and groove and stuff like that, different kind of groove. I so love the snare sound on this. I know it might sound like an odd thing to start off with when I'm listening to a song. This, excuse me, the second I heard the snare, it took up so much space in the dynamics. Wasn't hot, it wasn't sizzly, but it definitely was something that, if you're not musical per se, it can get you in there, and it gets you in there in a very non-intrusive way. And the engineering of that snare with its ambiance is unbelievable. Love the bass, and you know me about the bass. The guitar playing and stuff like this, these chords, very nice and laid back and acoustic. The vocals and the melody is giving me, somebody had written down here, this is kind of a callback to like a CCR, Creedence Clearwater, did I say that right? CCR? Creedence Clearwater Revival kind of vibe there. And that's what I love about this. This is when you really had to lean on great songwriting and great melody, and this track has that.
Cumberland Gap, devil of a gap. Oh,
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac too. Yeah.
Picked her up upon his back. My God, he loved that woman.
We're getting a little busy here. With the spinning Leslie. I think that too also makes this just so nostalgic, such a wonderful listen, is because everything is as organic as, at least people my age, or if you're into your 60s, even in your 50s and late 40s, you had an opportunity to really glide and glow in the 70s, late 60s and 70s type of production like this. One of the mainstays in this style is the Hammond, the Leslie, that organ that we hear that has, it sounds like the vibrato of the spinning speaker, and then it could slow down based on how the organist is is performing it. That little section though got a little busy there. That they kind of juiced up a little guitar there, gave it a little dirt, and sounded like it was they were using a slide on it, but it wasn't prominent. But it was a part of the arrangement that kind of gave you a little bit of not a little discomfort-ish kind of a vibe. Not because notes were wrong or anything, but by the production value, that arrangement kind of gave you a little, But love how that Hammond's rocking through there.
On the pinnacle rock, looking up and down the mountain, took his trusty old flintlock. Daniel started shouting. Kentucky, she's a waiting on the other side. Give you the fever, put the daylight in your eyes.
It's so subtle. Look, even that ending was smoking for me because it just reminds me of the days. Excuse me. And I can get all nostalgic because I'm old and I can hold up the old man card. It just reminds me of the days of sometimes back when I was engineering, even in smaller studios, and bands would come in and work out something on the spot and maybe have a stop where it's like, let's just end it, and just let it roll and let it go. But that whole era of songwriting. I'm glad that it lives. I'm glad that it lives through music supervision, music supervisors and directors and stuff that pull this into, production. Because much like video games, how I always go on those rants about how important video games have been in the world of music by virtue of bringing an individual who might be just playing a game but exposing them to different genres. That's a very powerful and important thing, to with movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Music supervisors and directors make these decisions. Especially to pull in a song like this. Very much, it also had a Fleetwood Mac vibe to it. I don't know what your thoughts are about that for those of you who remember or pulling from nostalgic. So I'm pulling CCR, Fleetwood Mac. Maybe you have a couple of others that you might, think it reminds you of. Put it down here on the chat, and because it's always good to hear that too. A lot of people will parachute in, and they're saying, "Hey, Shadow, how's it?" Yeah, more Fleetwood Mac. It does. I think the Fleetwood Mac thing aspect of it a little more than CCR. The Guess Who, that's another one. You see, it's coming from that little era. Is I think the swayness of it all, very straightforward and swing, especially the rhythm guitar is just very sway, very storytelling. So it was a great track. I was pumped to listen to that. Didn't know what to expect. It's a TV show. One thing I guarantee I'm going to expect, either a block. Or a copyright strike or something. Either way, we're here doing it. Who cares? I can't get in trouble. I mean, on Twitch. I mean, here. All right, guys. What are we doing next here? This is a Bear McCreary track that somebody sent in from Patreon. And so Bear McCreary, very well known for his compositions with video games. What is his most notable video game that he's composed on? I know he's done a couple, but what is his most notable one? But this one here is called Black Sails. So I'm going to, it looks like it's an original series soundtrack. God of War, okay, love that, okay. So it's a series. What was Black Sails, HBO kind of a thing? I can't tell. Oh, Stars. Okay, gotcha. All right. I love listening to Bear McCreary's work, so I'm sure I'm in for something new here. So let's do this. This is from my donation, from my Patreon supporter as well. Thank you very much. This is the theme from Black Sails. All right. Is that a hurdy-gurdy? An old honky-tonk piano? That's cool, too. Oh, we're gonna go Celtic. Whoa, trippy. Sounds like there's a little punch of a guitar back there, just. I like this. This is great. Yeah, there's definitely that guitar back there giving it the balls there. Okay, it looks like we're going to get a little more darker and driving in on this. This is you know, one of the great examples of, you know, really creative composers to be able to flex in so many different styles and stuff. You know, composers will have a go-to style of certain things, but you know, when all of a sudden you go do this kind of music, let's say for was it Ragnarok? You guys said it was. I think it was. I'm not sure. I can't remember. To something like this, you know, it's the job of the composer to match the energy of what it is happening to us visually. I don't know this series. I don't know anything about it. But by virtue of what I'm hearing, it sounds like chain gang, or we're gonna come and, you know, we're doing this and that. You know, the virtue of that in the, you know, the hurdy-gurdy, kind of a Nordic or maybe Celtic Nordic kind of. We're coming at you, we're coming for you, or we're getting ready. I don't know why in my mind, like, you know, breaking the chains away from a pirate ship so that the anchor drops, kind of a kind of a we can do it glorious call to action by, you know, Nordic, Viking, Celtic kind of vibe. But I don't know. I think the only thing that's giving me maybe a little theater of the mind in trying to decipher that is Black Sails. So maybe it's a pirates thing. I'm not sure. Oh, I nailed it. I got lucky, huh, Sneak? Okay. Is that the hurdy-gurdy doing that melody? It is. Great build-up, those vocals. A little layout there with the Gurdy. You know what else? Two things I want to mention too. Very much the hook through and through for me. Obviously, is a brum, brum. Now, the da 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 da, something of that nature. I love the unison build-up and layers on that with the vocals and other arrangements, but they're all in unison. He didn't try to go trick out, you know, a bunch of harmonies and stuff. He kept it very chain gang, very all hands on deck kind of a vibe. One thing that I will say that I really like, now I don't know what was making that dun, dun. It had somewhat of a stereo imaging to it. I can't tell if it was a guitar. I don't think it was a guitar, but there was some kind of sound. Maybe in one day in an unforeseeable future and the universe opened up so I get an opportunity to have a conversation with him here for us in the channel. But up until then, I don't know what that was. But one thing that I will definitely tip my hat for on what I heard is that when there was a little bit of that bendy lead from the guitar, his decision to keep it in the pocket where it lived in the mix, but the use of the dynamics and the ambiance and stuff, I thought was really super slick, because that could have gotten away with you. That could have got away from you, meaning as a composer and stuff. And so where he kept that, and a little bit before it became more of a medley-ish track, I thought was great. Also, the guitar crunches that were happening in the back and the other arrangements and stuff, very nicely integrated with that. So the whole thing that was you know, that kind of thing, you know, nice little bottom end to it. So no disrespect, of course. I just thought I'd throw in a little something. Hey, Muscles RB, how are you? Thank you very much. That was very kind of you. Thanks for dropping by and leaving a comment as well. I appreciate that. I don't. Sometimes the chats kind of fly by a little fast, but I just caught yours, and I'm looking at some of the other ones here that really seem to enjoy it. But Muscles RB, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. So, okay, I did pause this by accident. Oh, he did some work on the Godzilla movies as well, huh? Yeah, he's just wonderful. He's just a great, talented composer, and you know, him, Austin Wintory. You know, at some point, I really hope that I'm going to reach out to one of the more successful, famous, you know, composers from Japan, and maybe just request a bit of maybe an interview would be great. But I am kind of pretty small fries in the world of, you know, composers and talking to composers. Even though that one with Marty O'Donnell was really fun. So, you know, I think sometimes some of the composers are like, you know, they're super busy first and foremost, and you know, who are they going to give their time to? Rick Beato or me? So I don't know. Maybe one day what I'll do is I'll say, hey guys, I'm about to send out a tweet for a composer to maybe come on the thing, and then everybody has to gang up on that tweet and go, yeah, come on, yeah. Maybe that'll convince. I don't know. All right, now, Ren, are you here by chance, Ren? Oh, there you are. Ren shows up just as I was just about to come popping in. So Ren, I see what you did, and I am going to do this track for you, and I so appreciate it. Ren parachuted in with a very special request and a very special donation, but I'm going to do it today. And I'm going to do it today because I also need a track for my Decomposer Lounge, because I've been kind of waning on that. So thank you so much for your generous donation. But this is for you, so stand by. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm buy more peanut butter. I'm getting there. It's almost out. Alrighty. So here we go, guys. This is another track. I think this is going to be a two-part track. When I was looking it up and getting it set up for us today, I noticed that there's a chapter. So I'm going to go all the way through it. And I believe that's what you're wanting me to do here, guys. I'm going to be doing the song, a live version of a track called Blind Guardian. And I think is Blind Guardian the name of the band? I'm not familiar. Please let me know. And the name of the track is The Bard's Song and Valhalla, live at Wacken, Open Air 2016. Blind Guardian's the name of the band. Okay, guys. Well, this is going to be a bit of a haul here. It's a little over 12 minutes, so let's do this. I'm in for the haul. This is Blind Guardian, The Bard's Song and Valhalla. Before it gets a little too out there, what I love about how this thing started, excuse me, sorry, ow, is I love the guitar work of it. It had that Renaissance kind of a Renaissance fair kind of swing. Da, 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 da. Very musical. I don't know anything about the band, so I'm assuming. Please set me straight in the comments here in the chat. It is of the essence and of the world that is of Nightwish style, composing and performance and stuff, where people are really involved with the music, not only as musical representation, as a song and everything, but as an experience as a whole. It seems like, I mean, I got goosebumps when they all started singing, and I can't imagine what it must be like for those people to be up there performing, and everybody knows this, and it's just wonderful. But now it looks like we're getting some beefcake here. So here we go. Absolutely classic metal. Just so classic, so ballsy, so pushy. They sound great live. Would like to hear the bass a little louder, but that's just maybe my headsets or my cans or something. I keep on thinking of is it me? But I'm thinking of kind of like an old school, is it Dokken style influence? I'm not too sure if I'm saying it right or if I have it in my head, but just such perfect power metal and such its raw capacity right here. And it's not the fact of the matter is that we have two guitar players, one's holding down the core of keeping the rhythm guitar tightened together, while there's some lead work that's going on even while he's singing, something melodic that's still kind of very catchy in the back. I'm looking at the keyboard player play, but I'm not able to hear, through this mix what it is that his arrangement's all about. But this, to me, just this beyond stadium, gnarly metal vibe is just so powerful and so visceral, especially when I look at these musicians, and it kind of, that opening track that we heard of all of it, acoustic, beautiful. Now we're hearing this. It kind of reminds me of who was the guitar player that literally just left Megadeth? Kiko Loreno. I think that's how you say it. He's one of those guys. He's like an authentic, gnarly heavy metal guy. But you hit the switch, and he's flowing in jazz and folk acoustic kind of stuff. So much talent. Drummer, because I wanted to save it for the end, but that guy was just absolutely crushing through the whole thing. And at the same token, being an old drummer from, it was one of my first instruments and played in bands, for a few years when I was younger. The stamina of the kind of playing when they play like that. I mean, it's something you develop, obviously. But I watch it and I just go, my God, these drummers these days are just crushing it and stuff. This was great. I think one of the things, it's called Wacken. I guess Wacken is the name of a venue. I guess if it's set up year round or if it's a festival, I don't know. You guys can tell me that. It's a metal festival, okay. So I guess every year they put together this festival. It lasts probably for a weekend or maybe a week or something. Because I have done, I think, Nightwish at Wacken, and I think I've done a couple of other bands. And there is something to be said about watching live performances when I'm doing these kind of dissections, because it does change my listening experience by watching their performances and stuff, because it takes the respect of the musicianship, the band, the songs, the arrangements to another dimension for me. To watch them perform it, to watch the reaction of the bands and stuff like this, and songs like how this opened up nice and acoustic, a little bit of the banter at the beginning, in the middle, and then at the end calling everybody in to finish up the song. That has got to be such a ginormous rush for those guys to be, experiencing that. As a track and as a song, it was as right down the throat heavy metal as you possibly could get, in my opinion, in my small world of a couple of years of listening to heavy metal. I will say what's very unique about what I watch with a lot of these heavy metal bands, as I was just speaking of Kiki Loreno, Megadeth, and how guitar players have that armband. And I just wonder, for any of you guys who are musicians, or maybe you're in the know, if those armbands is to stop from sweat maybe dropping down, or if that's just part of this is the look, everybody has to have a wristband and an armband kind of a thing, if that actually has a purpose to it. Like, I'm thinking, I'd hate to be like, my arm would be all sweaty against the guitar kind of a thing. In my mind, that's what it feels like it would be. But this was great, man. Ren, I can't thank you enough for this. Well, first of all, that donation was pretty Generous. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. And very much well worth the listen. Yeah, maybe chafing, is that it? That could be it. You know, if that stops that from happening on the arm or something. I can imagine. Because if you're doing that for, oh, it is for chafing. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, but it's just, there's almost that thing, like almost all the metal guys that I've seen in their posters or on stage, if I'm looking at thumbnails and stuff, they always have like that, you know, and I just don't know if that's as, you know, as equal as like black shirts with cut off sleeves and black pants and stomping boots and stuff. So you've never been to one, even though it's been around the corner. Well, first of all, welcome, Sil3NTZ90. Thank you for your very first how's it on the chat. But I'll bet you could probably hear it 30 minutes away. That'd probably be a few miles away, probably about 20 some odd miles away. I can only imagine you could probably hear it. Way in the back probably, because it sounds like it's pretty pounding. But anyhow, Ren, once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was really super cool. Listen, and generous. All right, guys, I'm gonna dip into my lucky dip now. I gotta open up another browser super quickie and quickie slicky. Stand by for a second. You guys have a little fun here and talk amongst yourself. Let me open this and then open Lucky Dink. All right, so Sneak, am I up to date on everything? All of my Three Musketeers, or whatever. I'm sorry, they want to be called the Three Stooges. So am I pretty much up to date here? The dip is valid. All right, the dip is valid. Should be good. All right. All right, guys. Just for everybody who knows, the Lucky Dip is open right there. That's where you're going to make your requests. The old days of dropping it in the comments have long passed now, so at least now I can hold on to some of these for a while and round myself back to it. So let's go ahead and let me meander through Lucky Dipster here, and let's get to something here. This is Guerrilla Laments. Guerrilla Laments. Guerrilla Laments, Diablo Swing Orchestra. Okay, I think that's it right there. Yeah, we should work on a Lucky Dip emote. That would be kind of fun. All right, guys. Guerrilla Laments. This is by the Diablo Swing Orchestra, and I take it that this is a band. Okay, so this is we're super cool on that. Am I right? That would be kind of cool. Let me know if I'm right on that. Let me. Hi, Analog Wagon. How are you? All right, let's go. Guerrilla Laments by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. All right. I'm already in. I'm all in. I'm in because of the shaker. Whoa, what is this? I have never heard anything like this before. Wow. This is badass. Oh my God, listen to that bass. Holy smokes. I'm not stopping. I gotta listen to more of this. Nice doubling with the guitars and the brass. I can't get over that bass tone. Kind of a Geddy Lee Jocko blend. Okay, I gotta stop at some point. Oh my God, this is probably the most, this is the single, without a doubt, the single most unique band track I've heard in a long time. The authenticity of the rhythm section, the drummer, what he's playing. I'm trying to pin it if it's got a little bit of like a Brazilian. I can't. I'm not really good at that. You know, when it comes, ironically, you know, being of Latin descent doesn't mean that I know everything about Latin music. But that vibe that they got going in there, they locked it in there. But the authenticity of putting the guitars in a position where it pushes that metal element, you know, it shoves it into you really solid. It's not like hiding behind the horn section or anything like that. Yes, very much salsa and that carnival vibe, you know, like you were just saying, Safria. But the authenticity of placing is just a great, powerful guitar arrangement. So well placed in this track. And the arrangements of the horns, I mean, there's not enough that I could say about this, I think, that do it justice without me spending too much time talking about it. But also the bass tone is just phenomenal. All these musicians are absolutely incredible. The arrangements are insane. And I love what they're doing with the voice. The vocals are great. It's a really nice melody. They're playing around with it with a little engineering answer back and stuff like that. But this hook is just phenomenal. I'm in it. This is Diablo Swing Orchestra. I've just become a huge fan. Also, great engineering on the drums, too. Jeez. Oh my goodness, are they coming in with this line? Jesus. Who is this drummer? God, the mix and the bass is perfect. That's it. I'm in. I am a full, absolute fan of this. I am going to go down the rabbit hole on Diablo Swing Orchestra. Pandora's Pinata. What a great name. I don't know if that's the name of this album. Probably because it looks like it's an album thumbnail there. This is, to me, like I said, that was probably one of the freshest experiences that I've had on both my reaction channels. You know, I don't say that to take away, obviously, for any other experiences that I've had, but I mean fresh, meaning like, what a unique blend. It's not that it's so unique that there's dirty guitar, crunchy guitars with kind of a swing, you know, multi south of the United States, you know, fusion of rhythms and stuff. But it was just the engineering and the production and the arrangements were just, it was a perfect amount of everything that made me feel like they weren't trying to become more of something by adding crunch guitar or anything. And because I don't know anything about the band, you know, this could be the whole, everything that they're about is this fusion. But for a first time listen to a band I've never heard of before with this song, that's it. This was one of the most badass pieces of music I've ever heard. And the way it was written and performed by these musicians and stuff. I was even listening to the percussionist. You know, there was some timbali in there and shakers and stuff that are going on there. And a lot of times, you know, it's fun for me to see, I'm in my brain listening to music and tracks and I'll go, are they overdubbing the shaker? Is that somebody that came in later with the shaker and stuff? A lot of times, real percussion musician, they're, you know, everybody says, you know, drummers are octopus. Watch some of the Latin percussionists around the world and stuff. You know, with their elbows hitting chimes while they got this going, and timbales while they got that going. And then even so, what's wonderful about percussion players in bands is that by virtue of them being one individual, you don't get this, you know, the shakers just happening through the whole thing. It catches a break. You might only get that for 4 bars, but then it's taken over by something else and stuff, and that's such an important part of the experience of this style of music. Look at me, I'm going off right now. I'm sorry, I'm going off. That was great. I can't thank you enough. Who gave me this one? Let me see, was it Hurricane Gregor? Thank you so much for that. That was one hell of a lucky dip, man. Lucky for me. Man, this was great. I must have been talking so much that the chat stopped typing. Oh my God, Jeeves is going off. Hey Hoochie, is that what? Thank you for the follow. Anyhow, that was great. All right, let's where else am I going with Mr. Lucky Dip? Lucky dip, dip. Okay. Let's go with, this is bizarre. Worthless, Brave Little Toaster. I don't know what that is. All right. Is this, Brave Little Toaster, is it a, cute. Is this a cartoon? Oh, it was a 90s cartoon. Okay. Okay, very cool. All right, guys. This is coming to me from, who sent this to me on Lucky Dippage? Was Square Meal. Square Meal, are you here with me? Thank you very much. Let's do this. Brave Little Toaster. All right.
Now, honey, I mean it. You can just take some of our things. Oh, this lamp would
Is
look
there
so
any
cute in
music
your
here?
dorm room. Go for it.
Well, what are you gonna read by then?
Oh, I'll buy some candles. I won't read. I'll go out.
Thanks, Mom, but I'm not gonna take your stuff. Come on. Look, I'll
Okay,
just go
wait a
try to
second.
pick up a few cheap things this afternoon and, you know, whatever.
Mulligan's
That's
Island.
right.
Okay, I'm going to stop this because I don't know if I'm listening to the right one. Song, maybe? Maybe that'll help me. Lyrics. with lyrics. Okay, I'll do this. Maybe if I blew it and it was part of the whole thing, fine. But at least this one it says with lyrics. So let's go ahead and check this one out. All right. Ooh, the bass.
I can't take this kind of pressure. I must confess, one more dusty road would be just a road too long.
Poor thing.
I just can't seem to get started. Don't have the heart to live in the fast lane. All that is past and gone.
This is a cartoon?
You can do about it.
Song about being worthless?
Hurt me while I panic. I come from Casey, Missouri.
Choppy, weird
Now I
edit
got my
there.
kicks out of Route 66. Every truck stop from Butte to MO. Motown, New Old Alabama. From Texarkana and east to Savannah. From Tampa to Oklahoma. I once ran the Indy 500. I must confess I'm impressed how I did it. I wonder how close that I came. Now I get a sinking sensation. I was the top of the line, out of sight, out of mind. So much for fortune and fame.
Once took a Texan to a wedding. Once took a Texan.
Okay, a couple weird edits in there. So, like you can hear the stop-start edits and the cuts on this. Maybe it was a they remanaged the song or edited it to, you know, this particular scene and stuff. But how gnarly though! The song is called "Worthless" and it's showing everybody getting crushed and pounded. It's almost like, you know, how do you feel about the world today? Worthless. And this was a cartoon, but apparently it said here in the notes that who was it that composed this track? Hang on for a second. Worthless. Composed by David Newman. And David Newman, he's a great composer, and I can tell. I'm listening to the piano work, very David Newman. You know, whenever David's writing something, it's usually has something to do with piano in there without a doubt. But what a trippy track. You know, everything is, I can't do it. I can't, you know, I can't live in today's, you know, fast-paced world. I'm worthless.
To a wedding. He kept forgetting his loneliness, letting his thoughts turn to home and return.
I took a man to a graveyard.
Oh, I see.
I beg your
They're cutting out the dialogue. Okay, thank you.
Just living with the stuff I have learned.
Like right there.
At the sunset, there were bikinis and buns, there were weenies. Bellini just couldn't forget. Kiko, let's go up to Zuma. Kiko, let's go up to Zuma.
That's a beach.
From Zuma to Yuma, the rumor was I had a hand in the lay of the land. Get up and go hit the highway.
Doesn't it have a little bit of like Danny Elfman Oingo Boingo-ish feel to it? I fully identified with it.
I worked on a reservation. Who would believe they would love me and leave on a bus back to old Santa Fe? Once in an Indian nation, I took the kids on the skids with the hope he was happy till I heard him say, "You're worthless."
Poor Toaster and friends. They're worthless. That was a super trippy track. I really liked it. There was something about it until I didn't hit it until the end, but it did have a lot of the rhythmical values in the arrangement and stuff and the performance of it. And Randy's piano playing gave me a little bit of that kind of the influence of like old Oingo Boingo kind of music, you know, from Danny Elfman. It had that kind of. What a heavy little scene from a poor cartoon. I mean, a cartoon. You know, I hope that song didn't stick in a lot of kids' heads who watched that. Was that like regular, like Saturday morning TV stuff? But I dug it. I mean, I think for me too, watching the animation and stuff like this, it was kind of like his, you know, I was kind of tripping out when that was around. But oh, it was a movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, the original script for Bambi was kind of too, you know. I know he's playing a metal festival. That's just crazy. Danny Elfman, one of my favorite composers ever. Okay. Back into Lucky Dip. Let me see. Let me do Warframe. This is what you are. Okay. Is Warframe... Okay, it's a game. Okay, we're good at that. This was uploaded 6 years ago. Composed by Keith Power and George Spanos. Apparently there's 24 tracks on their soundtrack here for this game. What is is Warframe a fantasy battle game kind of thing? Hey Appleson, how are you? Thank you so much for dropping by. First time in chatting in. I appreciate you coming out and hanging out here on a Monday. I don't know where you are. But by the way, really quick, it's a space Barbie. What does that mean? Is that short for something? Really quick, everybody. I haven't done this for the longest time. I've got about 70 people hanging out. Where are y'all from? Where are you guys piping in from? And what time is it in your time zone? You know, sometimes it's kind of fun. I'm wanting to stretch for a second. That's why. Before give my ears some time to breathe, so I thought I'd ask a question. But Planet Earth, mahalo. I'm a sneak. Yeah, funny, brah. I know what time it is for you. And nobody's playing. Virginia. Fabulous. Norway. Oh my God, what are you doing? You're up so early in the morning. Are you getting ready to go to work? Go to sleep. UK. Yes, of course. 9:30 a.m. California, San Diego, Toronto, New Jersey. How you doing, eh? I'm from Jersey. 2:24 a.m. New Orleans, Denver, Colorado. Oh, Denver is a beautiful place. I love to ski. I used to ski up in Telluride and stuff like that. Not much. 7:40 a.m. in Kazakhstan. Oh, so cool. Wacken, the Philippines. Banana bread. You're in the Philippines. How cool. I like balut, believe it or not. I'm Woken here. Montreal, another beautiful, wonderful country up there. Canada. Oklahoma, how's it? Turtles in time level. What? Grovinus, the link you see at the very top of the chat there. I don't know if we. Oh no, we have no more donation link right now. Actually, I think Lucky Dip's kind of packed. So. But Phoenix, home of the red dirt music. Brown chicken, brown cow. Okay, good. I've taken enough of a break. I need to just let my... Well, also here in Hawaii, we have an incredible, you know, Filipino community here. And so by virtue of that, actually my landlord's wife is Filipino, and she's so generous, and she knows I'm just a little old composer hanging out, you know, renting from her family and stuff like that. So at least twice a month, she cooks some of the most killer Philippine food, and then for the big family, and I always get a little doggy bag kind of a thing. You know, she gives me, like, you know, the nice custom Tupperware and stuff. I got to return the Tupperware, but very nice and with all kinds of food. So I'm very well versed in a lot of Filipino foods, for sure. I know, right? All right, guys. Excuse me. All right, let's do this. Balut in Hawaii. Okay, this is now Warframe. The name of this track is This Is What You Are. Oh, wait a minute. Is that what he wanted? Let me double check here. Stand by. Yes, this is what I just want to make sure this is the one. All right, guys, let's do this. This is Warframe, and the name of this song or this track is it's going to be a listen, folks. Oh, wait a minute. Is it two parts? I see one that's all right, it doesn't matter. It's about 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Whatever. Shut up. Here we go. I like that approach. Single voice to choir. Definite emphasis on the ambience and ethereal aspect of this so far. This is a real nice combo of sounds there. I don't know what the name of that instrument is. It sounds like a single string instrument. But I love the blend with that and the string section in unison. That string ostinato in the background is so nice. Growing a little more in dynamics. I like the change up in the percussion just now. All right, sounds like we're getting ready for a little build on the way out here. We're almost 3.5 minutes past this. What I like about the journey on this one is there is a simplicity to the arrangements, but And I mean that as in a way where simple's not easy. You know, simple's really not an easy thing to do all the time. And by switching up some of the arrangements or adding and giving us a slow build, because I also have to remember that when I'm listening to pieces of music like this, it is, you know, an addition to a visual. You know, I'm not just sitting here listening to a piece of music and oh, where's there a melody? Where's there another arrangement? Why isn't it building one of them? I wrap my mind into the visual of it, and something like this, a track like this, is almost kind of like as if you're looking through your environment and you're beginning to discover things. And because I don't know what this game is about and all that, the essence of this, letting it just keep play out, da 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 da, da, changing that up, changing the assigned arrangements to it. You know, Spartacus 21, first of all, thank you for joining the chat, first and foremost. We lift it all together. It's funny because on the side of that, I noticed that that's a very powerful track here. It has like 20 million views. Nonetheless, the setting of the ambiance and the simplicity of the melody and stuff like that, to me, and the growing of it. Now we're starting to get a little more agitated with the agitato, or with the ostinato of the strings and stuff like that are building. That might go for 8 bars. Then they add the composer adds another darker arrangement that starts to lift it up. Even with this percussion that we've had for the last 3 minutes that had us kind of set into this particular pattern, the pattern stayed somewhat, but then they completely changed the instrumentation of it. So it's still there. It's still giving you that moving forward. It's still giving you that, like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for, when you're kind of like still kind of plowing through things, not knowing where you're at kind of vibe. Still gives you a little bit of that edginess in there. But I think it's about to get a little more fortuitous for us. Yeah. Trying to nail that metallic percussive. That was really large, but in a very unique way. One of the things, I will be honest with you, one of the things I was missing in this composition is more of a robust bottom, tonally. And I don't know if that has to do with, you know, how whoever put this up, how it was maybe ripped from its original version, or if this was a bot. What do you guys call it? A DLC or something, a DLS or something, or however they sell music to the public in there. I was kind of missing a little bit of bottom, even, and what I mean by that, it doesn't mean like a bottom arrangement, like anything needed to be added, just in its tone. I don't know what it was, but I was feeling like I wanted to hear a little more boom and a little more round from the bottom, you know, the percussion element of it. Somebody had left a comment about what's it called? DLC, thank you. The reverb and the vocals and stuff. And that is, you know, a wonderful use to give us that cathedral or that endless kind of vibe. As a matter of fact, one of the things when I'm writing choral works and I want to give it this kind of vibe, what I do is I set it on what I find a very unique cathedral reverb, and then I let the decay, I add a couple seconds to the decay, but then I'll add like about half a second to the pre-delay on that. So the signal hits, and when the signal hits, the reverb doesn't respond until half a second, and then tails out. And that gives you that really long, definitive, infinitive sounding reverb to it that gives you that theater of the mind of space, large, grand, whether you use it on a single voice or you use it on a choir. And so that's and that technique is also used on pads. You know, a lot of the pads that I always talk about, well, what a great pad, an ethereal pad and stuff like that. It could be a really nice, really, you know, whatever the sound of the pad is, but I can almost guarantee that it's being treated with a reverb. You know, you can write things so that it has a long sustain at the end, so it'll kind of, you know, volume down into nothing towards the end. But my experience as an old fart composer that I am, Obi-Wan Kajibski, that it definitely gets rinsed pretty heavy in the reverb as well, you know, just to give it that little extended ambience and ethereal vibe. By virtue of this, I don't know what this game is, but it does look like it's very spacey and wide open. So this piece of music was seemed to be very apropos for that. So, so hang on for a second. What is my opinion on bad music? That's a good one. Stand by for a second. Hang on, I'm just catching up to a couple comments here before I answer that. Hey, it's me, Luigi. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a long time. Okay, so I'm going to answer a really quick comment that was left here. What is my definition of bad music? Oh, God, you know, that's subjective. I have never encountered bad music, and I think it's because my default setting is that it's somebody else's creativity. And if they feel that it's ready to be released to the public, and if it's something that I wouldn't listen to twice, I mean, I've turned off music without a doubt, like, oh, this just doesn't do anything for me. But I don't know what defines bad for me, in the sense that I've heard music in the past that people have released, and I've gone, can't they tell that's a little out of tune? Or, but in my orb of listening to music, I've always just had the default setting of the respect of the creative individual that put it out there. If the question is, what do I do when I hear music I don't like? Well, that's going to be simple. Next, you know, or just not listen. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what bad music is. Really, I think that once again is something subjective to the listener. Depending on who you ask too, you know, there's a lot of snobs out there. Some people will say elitist. I guess that's a term that's used a lot. And that's the term that's been used a lot in my decomposer lounge that I've learned about, because I never listened to music at this capacity, and people coming in going, oh, you're an elitist, or that's an elitist point of view, or if it doesn't have this in it, then you say everything else is garbage, you know. I think it just depends on where we stand in our music and what it is that we define as something we do or don't want to listen to. I think if you want to be, there are people on the internet that have channels, that's all they do is they call out what they consider shitty music, you know, and if that's the position they want to put themselves in as they say that, then that's their kuleana, you know what I mean? I mean, not kuleana, duh. You know, that's their prerogative. But it is their kuleana, which is the Hawaiian word for responsibility for whatever pushback they're going to get for it. You're going to put it out there, you're going to get it, you know. Anyhow, so I think that's a long answer to that, but I think that was an important question because I've had that kind of question posed to me quite a few times on both channels. So there's definitely music I've heard that I will never listen to again, you know, on both the channels, you know. Or I will tell you there is definitely music I've heard and I've said in the back of my mind, they actually paid somebody to write this. But that's that's my elitist snobby dude in my brain. You know, so I'm not what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not devoid of an opinion, obviously, but sometimes I'll be like, wow, this guy bought a house off of this track or this piece of music. I was like, all right, well, that just must have been all timing of the universe, the right time, the right movie or the right TV show or the right theme or the right whatever of a thing. And I went, all right, that's just how the world works, you know. So, but I'm definitely a wait, what? Wait, I'm gonna sneak what? Fancy listening to some truly bad gaming music from someone on Discord. That's good. But you know, but once again, funny though, because I'm one of my mods here had just posted that. And the thing is that even if I listen to music, listening to gaming music and not playing the game, I have to treat it differently. So in my mind, all of you folks that maybe know a game, every time I start something here, and I play something that comes up on either my dono or my lucky dip. And you guys go, wow, what a great game. This is a great track. You guys have already got a preconceived, you know, opinion about it. And I have to listen to it. And like I said earlier, I think on this track I just reviewed, I have to remember that if I might be yearning for more of a melody or different kinds of arrangements, that, wait a second, this is a piece of music that's going to gameplay. So I don't know what else is layered on that. And truly, I've said this before, a composer's job is to be an addition creatively to a final product and not be the superior. You want to be that person that's going to give, you know, the music element of it. Now, sometimes music saves scenes in movies or TV shows. Sometimes music will make or break segments of video games from what I've read in comments and stuff. So I don't know, man. I guess I must have definitely had to have said something about that because I think I just went on a 10-minute rant about that, but you know, I'm just saying. And I think it's also because of the grandpa in me and the teacher in me and stuff that I just, you know, and the open-mindedness that I kind of have just in life in general. If say, hey, if that works for you, that works for you, that's great. You're happy with it. You're happy enough to release it, no matter what. It didn't move me the way you hoped it may have moved me, you know, if I'm listening to somebody's music that plays me stuff, but you know, I'm always open to, you know, the experience. That is my Obi-Wan Khajiibski position. These are not the reactions you're looking for. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to take a super quick break. So I can just let my ears breathe for a second. I'm going to come back for at least another, I don't know, what time is it? Oh, at least another hour and a half worth of music listening. And so I'm just going to chill for a second. Well, not long, probably about 5, maybe 10 minutes. Going to make some more coffee and dig in for a quick snack. And then I'll be back. And then we're going to go right back into the happy dip list. Lucky dip. I keep saying happy dip. Frick! That. We're going to go back to the list for another hour and a half after this. So just give me some time to unwind really quick. And